This is shocking. This is disgraceful. But I think this has to happen in the UK. I think the PGMOL, everybody that runs and operates, the referees and VAR, I think we need to look into this also. We may find there's no problems, there's no issues, but let's take a look at this because it's one of the biggest scandals to happen in the modern day game. And could this be going on in ours as well?
Whose football federation is taking disciplinary action against referees found to have been betting on matches. Our chief correspondent, Kaveh Solokol, is back. Right, give us the details.
I mean, this is truly extraordinary, Mike. We had a news conference today held by the president of the Turkish Football Federation. And in this press conference, he revealed that there are 571 match officials in Turkey. He said out of those 571, 371 of them have betting accounts. And he said that 152 of them are actively gambling on football. And incredibly, there is one match official in Turkey who has had 18,227 bets on football games.
You're kidding.
And there are 42 match officials who've bet on more than 10,000 football games each. He also said that 7 of these referees are elite referees in Turkey. That means that they can referee in the top 2 divisions in Turkish football. And also 15 of them were assistant referees, assistant elite referees. Now, of course, betting is not only banned for players, coaches and officials by the Turkish Football Federation, but it's also banned by FIFA and UEFA. Yet we have a situation where out of 571 match officials in Turkey, 371 of them have between 1 and 6 betting accounts.
It's just absolutely crazy. And it was only a year or so ago when Jose Mourinho was talking about the officiating in Turkey when he really went in. But it doesn't surprise me. And not because it's in Turkey, okay? I don't think this is isolated to Turkey. I don't think this is an indication that their football, their refereeing, their footballing institution has major problems. I just think they've investigated it and have found it out. And I actually want to congratulate the Turkish authorities for looking into this, because my gut feeling, and I hope and I pray that I'm wrong, is that we have very similar issues here in the UK. Now, forget the criminality for a moment of David Coote. Just forget the criminality, because that is a separate conversation. But the bias, the way he was talking about Jurgen Klopp, the rumours and the stories of betting connected to that one individual, the way all these stories came out so quickly after that video was leaked tells you that multiple people, and by the way, you can include the criminality in this. There was reports about these pictures early on, betting, cocaine-fueled parties, slagging off managers. There's all the other stories that have come out from ex-referees about holding grudges against fan bases that mock them, managers, players. So much came out in a short period of time. You sit there and think, well, if all these little individuals know so much about one person, what else could be going on? What if we overturn this rock? What are we going to find? Now, the PGMOL acted very quickly with David Coote and suspended him and then fired him. And of course, then he was investigated by the police, but the images were found and he's pleaded guilty. He's going to go to prison and it's been dealt with. But sometimes we've all seen those gangster movies, and The Departed was maybe one of the most famous that had this storyline in it. Jack Nicholson's character, I forget his name now, the character, but his character, you know, why did he get so old and why was he still running, you know, out there doing up the criminality and the gangster lifestyle, the organized crime? How did he never get caught? And it was because actually he was like an informant, and every now and then the FBI, I think it was the FBI he was feeding into, would say, listen, someone's got to go to jail, someone's got to go to prison, we have to be seen to be putting people away. So he'd go, right, there's going to be a robbery of this warehouse. These 2 people are going to be there at this time. Make sure you're there to get them. They'd get pinched, they go to prison, and everybody was kind of happy. I feel there is the potential, and I want to be very careful with my words, as the PGMOL are listening, I feel there is the potential for the PGMOL to know there are some deep, dark secrets with this ref, that assistant, that fourth official, etc. We've got a chance here to throw someone under the bus. We've got a chance here to throw the book at somebody, and rightfully so. That'll make it look like we have zero tolerance to this behaviour. But sometimes that noise and everything being made over here makes me want to say, well, what's over this side? And again, I'm making no direct accusations that this is going on within English football. But what I am saying is I think there is a distinct possibility it could be. And for a long time now, I've felt that the PGMOL should allow a complete and utter independent investigation, not the FA, not UEFA, not FIFA, a complete independent party that reports into them all to look at the referees, look at their backgrounds, look at their personal activities, their social activities, delving to the reporting and the duty of care and the investigating the PGMOL does, look at the reports between them and the clubs, them and the officials, to make sure there are none of these issues that are going on, to best protect the integrity of the game we love so much.
Unbelievable. Do we know if they were betting on games they were officiating in?
Well, this is a question that was asked today at the news conference, and it is something that is being investigated.
Wow.
That is the crucial question. Were these referees betting on games which they were themselves refereeing? Were they influencing the outcome of the games, making decisions because they stood to make money from bets that they had placed on the result of those games? Now, look, for a long time, there have been lots of accusations swirling around Turkish football. Turkish football is very, very volatile, very, very passionate. The clubs there, especially in Istanbul, are big, big rivals. For a lot of time, every time a referee makes a decision, people are pouring over it. One set of fans is accusing the referee of being corrupt. The other set of fans are defending the referees. We had the situation where Jose Mourinho, who was recently working in Turkey as the head coach of Fenerbahce, he was very, very unhappy with the standard of refereeing in Turkey. But the authorities there are saying that they now have these numbers, they know about these accounts, and now these accounts are all being investigated.
And this is a very, very important and crucial point. And if we bring it back to our game for a moment, we have exactly the same issue here. Calls of corruption, bias, and inconsistencies are always being made. Now, I don't believe that there is a direct conspiracy to one club. I don't think that the referees get together and go, right, what we've got to do today is ensure that Man United don't win a game of football. Why? Because we don't want them to win the Premier League. What is plausible is maybe the person sitting on VAR, maybe the VAR referee that day has placed a bet on Arsenal to get a penalty in the second half, and they're about to get one in the first half. Or maybe their bet is to score a goal from open play in the first half, and then a penalty has been given, which means they're probably going to lose that bet. And then they look and they find a very obscure way, a minute touch that goes against all the other previous penalties that were given, where there were small touches, and they find a way. You heard how hard they were trying to convince the on-field referee to disallow that penalty. It's more like, I think there's more possibility that it's because that VAR referee or a referee that's associated to them has a bet and stands to win £5,000, £10,000, £20,000, and that would end their bet more so than a direct conspiracy to stop the team from winning the league. Although you could argue, if a lot of them have put money on Liverpool winning the league, then it stands to reason. Now, none of this may impact English football. And as I've said, I want to be very clear in case anybody tries to essentially sue me. I'm just saying that there is the distinct possibility this could happen, because the idea that this only goes on in Turkey is far more ludicrous and illogical to think it's happening in one country than it could be widespread across Europe. And I think that what UEFA, FIFA, and the home governing bodies, the FA in our case here in the UK, should do is direct for independent inquiries. I think if an independent inquiry happens and there is nothing to answer for, if the behavior is really good, if all the practices are above board, then nobody has anything to worry about. Nobody has anything to cry about. Nobody has anything to panic about. But if it does uncover some bad practices, then we can fix them and we can make the game better, refereeing decisions more consistent, and of course uphold the integrity of our game. Because at the end of the day, that is what sport is about. Sport is about winning games, winning a competition, winning, hopefully, if you're good enough, winning medals, but doing it by following a set group of rules. If those rules are not being refereed correctly, because there is the potential of what we now see going on in Turkey, everything falls down. And maybe because it's betting, I shouldn't use this analogy, but it's like a house of cards and it could all come tumbling down. We all know the PGMOL has massive issues with inconsistency, ridiculous decisions, teams being robbed left, right and centre. We've seen that so many times. Is there the possibility that this is the root cause of it? Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your opinions in the comment section below and we'll speak again very, very soon. Peace.